Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick with you this morning. It is quiet out there, folks. Not a lot going on. We're getting towards the end of the year, so looks like this won't be a repeat of 2018 in terms of volatility and news. So it's quite not a lot going on. We got some ratings, got some earnings. PCG settled, or they got approval for their settlement. Some big technical levels were on our minds today. Dennis has a few key levels he wants to talk about in some stocks, and that's pretty much it. So we'll take your questions from our chat, as always, at premarket.benzinga.com and youtube.com/BenzingaTV. Our guest today, Mish Schneider. She is the Director of Trading Education and Research at MarketGauge. She will join us at 8:35, and then from 9 to 10, Sean Udall. Time. Joel, what is the word here overnight?
Oh, quiet over range, Spencer. Trading up a stake here at 31.9650. Good levels all around. Triple D will talk about some of the one in stocks. We got a double top in there, folks. 02.5 Monday's high, 03.5 Tuesday's high. That is your major level you need to get through on the upside to sail into the 3,200 handle. Crude, we're down 28 cents at 60.59. Gold in the red by 90 cents at 14.79.70. Silver in the red by 3.2 cents at 17.04. And just 2 years after Bitcoin hit its all-time high, it's under 7,000. In fact, it's at 6,500. Those are the futures you're trading, down $70. Triple D, did you fall asleep in front of the screen last night?
I am trying to unmute myself. I clicked the unmute button about a dozen times. It finally did unmute. Not sure why that is going on here, but no, it was actually, you're right. It actually was very slow last night. Not a lot happening. I sat here waiting for action. I'm like, eventually I'm going to get some action. It never really did materialize. So it was a very quiet evening.
All right. Well,
we've always got stuff to talk about.
Yes.
The analysts were busy here overnight. We'll get to that in a second. Some interesting ratings here this morning. The one story that everybody was talking about, and they exhausted it to bits, and a stock that I probably should have sold out of my long-term portfolio, but I did not, was FedEx, and now I'm back down to even on it again. So the stock was up 50 points, down, up 40 points, down, up 20 points, down, up 10 points, flat. So it looks like I'm probably going down. I mean, it was a terrible quarter. Give us the results here. FedEx, long-term investing sucks.
Q2 EPS, $2.51 versus a $2.84 estimate. Revenue, 17.3 versus $17.57 billion. So a miss and a miss on the top and bottom lines for FedEx. Last quarter, they gave some guidance, some fiscal year 20 EPS guidance. The range they gave, $9.10 to $10.35. Estimates were all the way up at $12. So light, very light actually, on the fiscal year 20 EPS guidance, on top of the earnings and revenue misses for last quarter.
Before we break down the technical, Spencer, can you just enable the Benzinga.premarket page for those who are listening over there? We will get that enabled for you. But obviously, we're always up on YouTube, so you can always find us. If you can't find the channel, just go Benzinga YouTube, and you will find us very quickly. We're down $12 here, Joel. 150 is huge, but this quarter was absolutely terrible. They said nothing good. Miss, lower guidance. I mean, there was no doubt the stock was going to go lower. I don't know what to say. It's a very disappointing. UPS is down in sympathy here. This is just a real disappointment. I was worried about this disappointment. I talked about it on the show yesterday, and that's why I was considering selling my long-term. But I said to myself, stop trading your long-term portfolio. It's still, it was a valuation call for you, and the valuation call continues to go down.
Just not a good-looking chart. You know what I mean? We talked about
it looks bad. Talking against my book here, but it looks bad.
Yeah, before just all the pops. I mean, you had that big swoon in September. I don't know if that was from earnings, and it tried to fill that gap a few times. It just found resistance and now back down. Kind of a sneaky pre-market chart here because you're down and you're not bouncing at all. I mean,
It's
you
just
are
been
just
sellers.
skimming
Yeah.
along the lows of the session. So I guess you could look at it two ways. You know, someone's just bringing in some stock here. They're like super bullish and, you know, we're going to pop off here. Or you can look at it as just like the sellers, they're just not done yet. And they're just not letting this thing bounce. We're trading. This 150 area is tricky, pre-market low, 150.11. It just doesn't feel like that's going to be the low of the day. We're trading at 150.60. Let's look at the dailies. I mean, you can go pick some daily lows out. 149.75. That was a low. So there, that backs up your 150 area. 149.19. I guess I would, if you break 150 and you're deciding to buy 150, you're giving yourself a little room. You got that 149.19.
Why be a hero and buy it on the first day? And
Yeah,
yes, I own it in my long-term portfolio, but I'm not adding to it here. I mean, you got to wait till, you know, these things turn. Think about the last, we're getting a repeat of last earnings.
when it went down.
And it was
after.
172, a gap down $15, and then continued to leak for a month until it finally showed some life. You got to wait till it shows some life. Why are institutional money managers going to come in and pile into FedEx at this price? You got to ask yourself that. Why? Because it's cheaper? Well, they just lowered guidance significantly. It should be cheaper. So I don't see, you know, why be a hero and come in on the first day. I'm sticking with the long-term investment, but I wish I didn't have it. I was so close. I even wrote it. Hey, I even wrote it on my page
See it
yesterday.
on a sheet.
No, I wrote sell FedEx like before the earnings. Look at this. Can you see it? It says sell FedEx. This is all the other stuff I've got, like my notes and stuff, but it says sell FedEx. That was yesterday.
You're not
during the
following
day
your notes.
because I wanted to sell it out of my long-term portfolio, and I talked myself out of selling it. Bad. I should have just went with the instincts. I talked about it on the show yesterday. I thought they were going to disappoint, and they did. Should have just went with what I wrote on my sheet. Follow your sheet. When you do your homework, follow your homework.
UPS trading down in sympathy. That stock, it's really held up.
You want to know something? And this
What?
is, you know, people say I'm ridiculous for saying this stuff. They are the beneficiary of being, you know, in a little weaker industry, but reporting second. So again, that's going to be the same story. FedEx reports. And when is UPS due to report, Spencer?
They're out already.
Yeah, but they was out a long time ago. They are not out for so when UPS reported after FedEx last quarter. Am I wrong here?
UPS reported in late October, Dennis. So
yeah, so
their next report won't be until January.
Yeah.
Like,
so, but again, so it's only a month away. So FedEx is really reporting. Yeah, they're reporting, but you know, for the next quarter here, UPS is only a month away. So now everybody's, you know, looking at expectations, and yeah, they're not close to each other. But weren't they closer last time? Because I remember saying UPS was only a couple of weeks after FedEx, and I was like, the bar is set low. So I feel like, you know, that they've adjusted the dates. When did they report last quarter? It's definitely after FedEx. So I remember talking about this.
UPS reported October 22nd.
And when did FedEx report?
FedEx reported
in September, about a month ahead. So FedEx is about a month ahead, which, you know, is wrong, I guess, because, you know, you're saying the first quarter versus the next quarter, but it's still, am I right there?
FedEx is behind you, but they're so far behind
on the quarter, but it's a month. So I'm like, now everybody hates it. So if they see anything good from UPS in a month, they're going to say, oh, well, they're doing better than FedEx. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just, you know, maybe it's selective perception.
UPS always reports at the beginning of the earnings season.
FedEx at the end, but it feels like UPS comes after because FedEx is so 2 months after. So it feels like UPS comes after.
Right.
Anyways, okay. So I guess my theory is wrong, but in any regard here, the bar is now set lower for UPS, obviously. Stock is held up. It's got the dividend, the bigger dividend, so it's held up better, but
I wonder how come. I mean, it's held up a lot better, like a lot better.
I think it's still because the bar, like FedEx was so bad on that other quarter, and then UPS reports 3 or 4 weeks later the next quarter's results, and they're like, oh, it wasn't that bad, and then they rallied the hell out of it on that. If you looked, it was a gap and go back in October. So I still think, even though it's the next quarter's results, it's still, people still have the bad taste. Think about how long you have a bad taste in FedEx in your mouth. This is going to be bad taste for a long time. So when UPS reports on January 20th, the bad taste is probably still kicking around. They're saying, I think the bar is going to be set lower. Obviously, a lot of things change in a month, but I still think that helps.
All right. I just wanted to say that Amazon news yesterday didn't help things either.
Well, that was this whole catalyst that started it all. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, and then the earnings were just a disaster. So anyways, let's move on. It just depresses me.
Okay,
I
let's
do
move on.
have some good stocks in my portfolio, believe it or not. I know we always seem to be talking about the dogs that are in my portfolio. I have 100 stocks in there, so there is some good ones. My portfolio is actually at all-time highs, so it's not doing that bad. But I'll tell you, FedEx is not a good one in there.
Okay.
So
All right. Any
continue.
other earnings? Positive earnings?
CTAS, Cintas.
Yep, and they reported yesterday also Q2 EPS $2.27 beat the $2.03 estimate. Sales also beat $1.84 billion versus 1.82 billion. So a beat for CTAS last quarter.
It's up $2.
I
I
don't
mean, you look
know.
at this chart and you think, well, yesterday's highs are already a factor, and it actually is off the highs, which is concerning as well because the stock rallied up more. So you've come off the highs now. 267, that's your level in the sand.
Yep.
For if you're long, that's a level it needs to breach. But this stock is always quiet. For whatever reason, the stock just doesn't move around that much. I mean, yeah, it's a $260 stock, but for a $260 stock, a lot of this times this thing has like a 2-point range. There's a lot of 2-point ranges in there. That's less than 1%. So it just doesn't move around a hell of a lot. Like, don't expect a 30-point move off earnings on CTAS.
I just keep an eye on 62.43. That was the high from yesterday. So you're still green on the session. You did get a pop here. What time was that pop at? In the after or the pre-market at 5 o'clock, you traded up to 269.45. Measly 100 shares there. So I'd keep an eye on the high from yesterday. Make sure it stays above there. If not, you're looking for a test of the close. 60.76 in yesterday's low. I see it wide open to 66.98 after that area, but it doesn't seem like anyone's in a big hurry to take it there.
GIS, TTC, PAYX all reported. Do we want to talk about those?
I was going to go to Steelcase. There was the last one from yesterday.
Steelcase? You're going off the board. All right, sure. Give Steelcase some love.
Well, I was looking at the biggest names reporting, and Steelcase probably the only big one.
Good report.
So yeah, it was a good report. They beat on the EPS and beat on the sales. So
I'm not. It's okay. So it's
right,
if you're an SCS trader,
okay.
I'm not an SCS trader.
Nope.
You're looking, it's through $20. That's a critical level. I would think it hasn't been to $20 in a long time. So I would think you might even have something perched in the book there. I don't have my book open here to see, but whenever you go through these big psychological, $20 level that you haven't been through, and if we go back to the monthlies, SCS hasn't been there since 2015. So you have 4 years where there's 4 years of potential that somebody threw a GTC out at 20 and good till canceled orders. What I'm talking about there. I mean, I think there could be something at 20. So I don't know if I'm buying here at 2025. I don't know. JV Spec, if your book's open, again, was running late. I haven't opened my book yet, but I just think that why not? Might be
2037. That was your high in December of 2015. If you're looking for a target there, that's the last time. And then that was a real bad month there. I don't know what happened with the earnings report or if it was the market, but that thing got lit up in the month of December. 4 years ago. Quick trivia. Where is that company headquartered?
It's got to be in Michigan, or Joe wouldn't be doing the trivia. Michigan.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
That's a nice city.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful city. I've been there once. I went and watched actually the Griffins play a game. That's the Detroit farm team, but it's a nice city.
You know what they say about Grand Rapids?
What?
If you're not Dutch, you're not much.